Alright, so good morning everyone, welcome back to ChippysCouch. Today we return as always for a little more Thorium, and in today's episode, well, we actually have quite a few things that we can be getting on with, because unlike some other Terraria mods, it seems like Thorium actually has quite a bit of pre-hard mode content, because usually around this point in a Let's Play, we're doing the Wall of Flesh, or even doing the first boss after the Wall of Flesh. But not with Thorium, no. And I feel like we've been going at a good pace, because we still have Deerclops, the Granite Energy Storm, the Buried Champion, the Star Scouter, and all of that is before the Wall of Flesh. Now, obviously, Deerclops is not part of Thorium, but hey, it's a cool fight. I feel like we'll do it. Why not? The thing is, Deerclops is a boss that you can skip, but Chester is not exactly a pet I would skip. If you don't know, there's a pet from Deerclops called Chester, and it's essentially a little chest that follows you around like a movable piggy bank that isn't the money trough, and it is so good. In terms of vanilla content, it's one of the best things you can actually get. Anyway, before we do that, I did make a couple of changes to the world. More is just like a little bit of maintenance. So we now have a desert pylon. I moved the nurse, the arms dealer, and the desert acolyte in. Yep, that's right. I know English. So we have the desert pylon. We also now have the cavern pylon. So this will make it easier to get to hell. We have 3 more homes over here. So 3 more homes here, just to kind of keep NPCs rolling in. Now, I haven't seen you before. What are you? Many beasts have fallen to me in my axe, but new ones are always on the prowl. Keep your eyes peeled, kid. Oh, okay. So this is part of the defender medals that you get, or the... I think that's... No, I can't remember what they're called. They're not called Vanquisher medals. There you go. Thank you for helping me out. So this is like a little shop where you can spend those medals that you get. If you haven't noticed throughout the series, I've not been talking about them, but every time we kill like a rare enemy, like a Minotaur or a Hag, you get a Vanquisher medal. And we have quite a few of them. Tracker's Board allows you to view the tracker's available contracts at any time. This one's pretty cool. Teleports you to the dungeon's entrance. I would have that. That's a pretty good item. Let's see how many we've got, and maybe we will... Maybe we'll buy something. I did not expect to take this turn at the start of the episode. Medals. Oh, we've only got 6. Well, I'll leave it for now. I'm not too phased. But there is actually one new item that I did want to check out. So I've got a couple of new homes over here as well. Like I say, we just need NPC homes. They're already full. Like, how many is that? Is that 9 new homes that I built? They just keep coming. It's an infestation. So there's a new weapon called the Microphone. 31 symphonic damage, releases an expanding sound wave. Cool. Let's do it. Let's see how it stacks up. There's also the Subwoofer. Can be worn in vanity slots. Material. You and nearby allies receive 2 additional armor piercing. Doubles the range of your empowerment effect radius. So this is actually a material for the Devil's Subwoofer. You and nearby allies set enemies on fire when attacking and are immune to being on fire. That's actually pretty good. Like, just the ability to turn all of your attacks into on fire. That's great, right? So this one is strange plating. I feel like, if I remember right, that's from the mech bosses. Now, there is something that we got requested to make, and I think that is the ice and fire weapon. And I can't remember the name of it. Is it... I remember it being like a Song of Ice and Fire. Oh, it is, yeah. A Song of Ice and Fire. It's quite literally called that. So it's the Magma Racket, which we have, and the Icy Piccolo with the Dark Steel Ingots, and it's made at a Tmodloader. Now, did we end up making the Icy Piccolo? Because it sounds familiar. We've made a few Piccolo weapons, and the Icy one might have been one of them. Let's see. So, Icy... Yeah, we do have it. The Icy Piccolo. Then we want the Molten... It's not called that. It's called the Magma Racket. Okay. Then we need the... What are these called? The Dark Steel Ingots. So let's get that. So 20 of those. Then we're off to a Tmodloader. Golden. Golden, golden, golden. Here's the thing, right? I wonder if we have enough stuff for Deerclops or not. Because we did spend quite a bit of time in the ice biome at the start of the adventure. So I'm just wondering, naturally, do we have the stuff? That's a question for later on. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this now. Look at this, right? I'm an absolute pro. Get this, right? Pylon to here. Look at that. Time saved. Oh, you can thank me later. Actually, on that topic, we need to make some new boots. Now, when I spoke to the NPC that sold movement accessories, he didn't sell an anklet, but now he does, and I've already purchased it. So let's get that made in a minute. And it's great because now we get the benefits of not having to explore, you know? Modded NPCs can be pretty good. So here it is. The Song of Ice and Fire allows you to rhythmically play on a big Aero phone. Successfully timing hits will steadily increase its damage, empowerment level, and velocity. Mistiming hits will decrease these bonuses greatly and cost 5 inspiration. These bonuses will stay between weapon swaps but gradually fade while you're not using it as an active weapon. So let's see. So is this the one where you time, like, right-click, left-click, right-click, left-click, right-click, left-click, right-click, left... Do you know what I mean? Is that this one? Seems right. So if I left-click in this part, it doesn't work, but if I right-click, it does. Is that... Am I using it correctly? I think I am. This is one of those weapons where you're actually going to have to think about the rhythm and listen for the sound. And the thing is, I have the sounds turned down on my end because the weapons are really loud. So let me just double check that. That I'm using it right. Allows you to rhythmically play. Successfully timing hits will steadily increase its damage. Cool. And let me just double check. Can I right click on that side? No. So like that. Yeah. Cool. Big brain. The problem is I'm just looking too much at the actual little meter thing itself. But gosh, is that an actual bop, though, in terms of damage. Great, great, great. Awesome stuff. Now, I want to let you know now, I'm knackered. Flat out, I am knackered. And I can't be bothered today. So we'll see how it goes. I'm, like, actually so tired. I stayed up really late. And then I got up really early. And then I did some exercise, and I just feel rubbish. So, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so the deer thing. Can we make a deer thing? Deer thing. So, it's made out of lenses and flink's fur and a little bit of ore, which we do not have, but that's fine. We need to go to a demon altar. So, flink's fur, obtained. Lenses, obtained. And then we need to get the... We need to get the demonite, so we'll just grab some of those. And in a little bit, what we'll do is we'll go and do that. We'll wait until nighttime. Okay, so next up, before I forget, is the Granite Energy Storm. Use a unstable core deep underground within a granite enclosure, or find and defeat an unstable energy anomaly. So yeah, Thorium has its own mini bosses that summon in. Now, the thing is, and I was complaining about this, I don't know if it made it to the final edit, you just don't get marble and granite biomes anymore. So this is the only marble biome that we have. So first things first, we are going to go and go clean that biome up and see if we can make it into something more usable. Because right now, it's just not great. Now, in the last episode, I brought up the statistic that people tend to watch about 50% of every video. And a lot of you came forward with your own ideas on why. Some people said, well, maybe some people are watching and then they get, you know, a little bit distracted and they move on to something else and then, you know, maybe they come back later. And I like that suggestion. Somebody else was like, well, what about people watching it in 2 times speed? That would count as 50% watch time. And that is actually correct. And that is exactly how I watch every single video on YouTube. And that isn't even a joke. I watch everything on 2 times speed. I'm just that person now. But the real suggestion, and the one I actually think is the most relevant and realistic, and, you know, it's a bit of a harsh truth, not enough Chicken Run 2. You know, the people are not hearing the Chicken Run 2 at the start, and they're dipping. And they're like, you know, this isn't the video for me anymore. And I relate to that so much. Also, I am really struggling to focus on the timings and moving around with this weapon, but it's really good. And I want that to be known. But my brain cannot commentate, think about that, and do everything else. That's really hard. Okay, what about the microphone? Wow, the microphone's quite a short range, isn't it? Alright, so the marble biome has been smoothed out, and I also extended it a little bit. And a good sign, we have the natural boss summon for the buried champion. I'm kind of tempted just to give it a bit of a go, since it is already here. I would have liked to have had platforms, though, but I'm a little bit nervous that if we start building, it's just going to despawn. I'm going to give it I'll give it a quick go. But look, we can always come back with buffs and stuff, because if you think of it in terms of Thorium progression, this is the point where you do it. It's not like they're like, get some good items from Deerclops, and then you can do it. But we also don't have any buffs with us. Like, I'm not prepared. I wasn't expecting to do it, but I'm like, well, it's a free summon. You can't pass up on free. Nothing's better than free. Am I right? Are you enjoying this video? It's free. Okay. All right. I'm going to try not to get too goofy today, but I'm so tired. I can feel it. All right. Okay. So let's give it a go. So the buried champion is actually really sick. I really like it. When I think of Thorium, I think of a few things, like instantly. I think of the buried champion. I think of Viscount. I think of the queen jellyfish. And I kind of think of a... This is an insult, and I'm sorry to say it, but I always think of a bad final boss fight. I haven't done, obviously, in years, but I was never a huge fan of the final boss fight, whatever it's called. Which apparently was... Part of it was called Ragnarok. That's where I was getting that from the other day. Okay, let's wait for all of our inspiration to regen. But I always remember the buried champion being, like, quite a challenge, actually. And I remember needing, like, a good arena when I first ever did it. And I've kind of just kept up with that. So let that regen. Okay, I'm going to try and use the Song of Ice and Fire. But remember, you're going to be looking at the meter, and I'm not. So just keep that in mind. Okay, there we go. Need to find a good rhythm. Problem is, like I say, I can't hear the metronome. But if you can hear, like, it's like the fart sound, then you know it's not right. Right? Okay, well, yeah. That weapon is really good, genuinely. But if I wasn't commentating, I reckon I could use it properly. It's too many things going on. I've got to think of the meter, think of the words to say, think of the boss fight, and think of aiming. It's definitely a weapon that's, like, really sick on its own. So, already, we have a chance at a second go. So, we're buffed up, and we shall begin. Now, this will simply be a fight of aiming and dodging, which I know is every fight. But we also need to learn the AI. Like, for example, then, we learned that it does a charge attack after it shoots those knives into the air. And we also know that it fires in a straight line. So kind of like the Queen Bee, you need to be moving up and down. So we've learnt that. Also, as always, got to remember to regen the inspiration and let it do its thing. But it is, as I remember, like a challenging fight. And that's what I like about it. I like that it's almost like a mini-boss, but it isn't. In a way, though, I kind of think the Illusionist could be bumped up to its own boss fight, rather than just a mini-boss. Because even based on your comments yesterday, everybody's down for the Illusionist. The Illusionist is sick. I think the Illusionist is actually such a good mini-boss. It might be one of the best mini-bosses I've done in ages, and I'm not even kidding. Okay, so if I remember right, at a certain point of this fight, it turns into a doppelganger, and you have to fight two. And I think one of them is swords, and one of them is a bow and arrow. So we'll see. But the fight's going well, I would say. Let's wait for everything to regen, and then we'll keep pursuing. Okay, so here's the... Oh, it swaps. Interesting. So it's got a second phase. Oh, I thought I'd, like, figured out the AI then. Okay, so it does a charge attack and then does a sloped arrow burst. That's what I'm calling that. So a couple fast ones, and then a sloped arrow burst. There we go. Okay, I'm figuring it out. Sorry, I need to regen the inspiration. That was bad on my behalf. All right, so bit of a jump cut here. I apologize, because I know that this is a little bit jarring. I had to go answer the door, came back and died, so I was like, well, the video editor in me is not happy with this. I need to correct my mistakes. So here we are. I don't know if this fight is necessarily going better. All I'm doing, though, is just being more prepared for those fast arrows. Because as we saw a couple of times, I just kind of stood there and let them shoot me, which is not ideal. And if you're ever in a situation like that, don't let that happen, okay? And I'm specifically talking about the buried champion here, all right? So, you know. Select the inspiration regen. Let's slow it down. It's better to let it full regen. We know this now. And we'll keep it going. So there's the fast arrows. And then it's going to hit me with the swoop. Oh, I don't know what to name this attack, but that's what it feels like. Okay, I'm kind of losing my rhythm with the fight. I've cut back too early, as I like to claim. Oh, gosh. Right, so bringing it back, it seems like the fight might be getting a little bit faster. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, okay. It's changed again. So now it does actually have duplicates. And I'm really struggling to figure out what's real. Oh, no. So what are these little attacks that have health bars? Are they just like, oh, if you can defeat the attack before... Oh, no, this is too much. This is way too much. Oh, that is brutal. That's such a hard fight. Oh, my gosh. I don't know how to keep up with that. That's way too much. I'm too tired today. I can only focus on one thing at a time. That's 3 bosses. Wow. That is brutal. That's really hard, honestly. It's probably looks easier than it is. I'll say that. That's probably the case, right? You'll be watching this going, what's he even on about? Let's see. What do these make? A tuning fork? That's pretty cool. So, at what point do they drop these? Because we could have made that a while ago, right? Tunes enemies, causing them to take 10% more damage and gives you jump height too. There's also a brass cap. Brass instruments have 15% chance to tune enemies. Tuned enemies take 15% more damage. What weapon am I using? I'm using brass. That might actually be worth making then. So, let's dump that in there. And let's make the brass cap. So I'll make the brass cap. Thank you very much. That's cool. 15% more coins. We could use the moolah. Camera mode, please. What else? This is thrower. And these are just other things as well. That's cool. Do we make the tuning fork? Tuning fork. Here it is. Bam. Is this a material? It's not a material. Okay. So let's have a little look at the tuning fork. Oh, that's really good. So that's doing what DPS is that? 125 compared to, let's see this. Wow, that is actually higher. No, never mind. It's weird when it looks really good, but then when you put it in practice in comparison, my gosh. Right, so let's replace... Which one does this one do for us? Okay, I think we need that. I say we get rid of... do we get rid of the Shield of Cthulhu, maybe? Go for this. It feels weird not being able to dash, but I think that might actually be better. So, I tell you what, actually, one thing we're going to do as well is we're going to make that new subwoofer, because that could really increase our damage if we swap that with... Maybe I could do without the cloud and a balloon. Would that be alright? It's weird. You lot know me. I don't like to sacrifice movement in Terraria. I'm really funny about it. But that has put our DPS up a lot. So that is really good. Like, that is fully worth having. Also, this isn't that good. This is the only thing with Bard. You really have to kind of experiment with weapons, because some are just not as good as others. So, it's we've got everything for Deerclops. So what we'll do is we'll go make the summoning device, and then we will we'll give it a go, and we'll do it in the ice biome. Now for Deerclops, do you make an arena? I haven't done Deerclops that much, to be honest. Like, not enough to kind of know the protocol. I guess you just make a platform so that it's like you've got a straight line to walk on. Oh yeah, so I actually completely forgot to make the boots. So let's make the boots then. So then that's done. Gosh, this is it. I can tell, like I say, I can tell I'm tired today. Because I've set up an episode and already I'm forgetting. So we are a little bit faster now, and that is awesome. Okay, Deerclops. Really excited for this one, genuinely, because I think this is my first time doing it modded and on camera, maybe. I know I've fought Deerclops in the Terraria overhaul mod, but that was just something I played for fun in my free time. I didn't record any of it. Well, I did actually, and it made its way into the background of a couple of ChippyGaming videos, to say the least. But yeah, gosh, that was so fun. I actually really enjoyed. Overhaul is such a good mod. I think I spoke about this the other day, but if you haven't played Overhaul yet in 1.4, put that right at the top of your list. I would almost even put that above Thorium and Calamity. I love that mod that much. Right, so we have a platform. Let's buff up. Let's begin. How will this be in modded? Let's find out. What will our damage be like? I'm assuming just based on what we've seen already, pretty good. But let's see if we can maintain that, because as we've learned, Bard is very much burst damage, as in like do a little damage, back off, do a little damage, back off. Will that keep us around for the fight? Now the thing about Deerclops is, and for anybody that's maybe not fought it, because I know a lot of Terraria players have still never fought Deerclops, mainly because of the fact they don't know it's in the game, which yeah, that happens sometimes. It used to happen with Duke Fishron back in the day. Lots of people played Terraria but didn't know about Duke Fishron, even though Duke Fishron was for a time the final boss. Anyway, the thing about Deerclops is it doesn't despawn, which is unlike any other Terraria boss. I'm doing a really, really bad job of that. And like I say, I've not sussed out Deerclops yet. I haven't really figured out what the best approach actually is. So like now, we don't have to worry about it because it's still around. We can just go and continue the fight. As a Terraria fan, that is baffling. That's really baffling. So it felt like I couldn't, it almost felt like I couldn't double tap then. But I wonder if I was maybe double tapping into the projectiles and kind of bouncing back. So this time, let's use the tuning fork to get the jump height, because I quite enjoy having that, and that does help. And then we'll go back to the skulls. Really, we could be using anything, but the tuning fork having the extra jump height actually seems sick. But I would say our damage is good enough. We're getting slapped about defense-wise. But we're also getting slapped about because I'm just not doing a very good job. So I think what we're meant to really do is probably keep it more in a straight line, get ready for it to do its attack, and then jump over. I think it's me that's kind of messing up the Deerclops fight as a whole. Yeah, there you go. I found my rhythm. It's been a while since I've done Deerclops, so, you know, please forgive me. Like, I haven't done it. I don't think I've done it since the start of 1.4.4. Because I've been playing secret seeds that don't allow it. Right, so we're getting close to the end of Deerclops. A very interesting fight. I don't know how I feel about Deerclops now. There's just something about it that's a little un-Terraria-like. But the thing is, I love the loot so much. And I really like the music, and I like the design. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's just something about the fact that it doesn't despawn. Like, it's in line with Don't Starve, but it's weird. It's weird. Okay, right, it's done. It's done. So, opening it up, bam. We got the eye bone, which is what we wanted. We love this. This is great. We also got Lucy the Axe. Very good. Oh yeah. I was confused then. I was like, why have we got this again? The bone helm. So this is a really cool accessory as well. Like I say, Deerclops is well worth the effort of actually doing it. But the fight? It's weird. It's weird. Does anybody else feel like that? Or am I alone? Also, been getting a lot of comments to build a big display case for all of the relics. We'll do it. I'm going to wait until hard mode, though, so we can kind of figure out, like, how many things give relics. And then what I'll do is I'll just double it, and hopefully that's enough. Right, so I think I'm going to end it there for today. So tomorrow we will go back to the Buried Champion. And then I'll look for a granite biome and we'll do the Granite Energy Storm. The Star Scouter, though, that's one I don't remember too much. If I recall, though, it's probably just a UFO. Right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.